Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to create a platform that will start a revolution in 2020. And I am so excited and energized about this material that I'm going to share with you today. I do want to welcome everybody who's joining. Welcome Lauren Rose from Paris. Welcome Monica from the Bronx, New York. Welcome Terry from Los Angeles. Welcome Sharon from Santa Fe. Love it. New Mexico energy in the house. Welcome Elena and Lorenzo in Greece. Welcome Rose. I think Rose, you're in Austria, right? Welcome Kathleen in Connecticut. Welcome Ricky in Denmark. Welcome Franz from Austria. Paula from England. Robin in Michigan. Anne in California. And so many more people joining. So beautiful. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to gather with you today. And so I want to begin by just really honoring this beautiful global community that's coming together to listen to this. And this is such a beautiful opportunity that we have using technology for good here, right? And there's an incredible energy that is created when we gather together in this way. We're all coming together with a shared perspective, right? Like-minded people, and we're each anchoring our unique place on the globe. And so that's very, very powerful, right? And we can create some really positive energy here and send it out to the whole world through everyone that's coming together and anchoring their own places on the earth. So I just want to bring your attention to that and really welcome you to settle into this sacred space together and enjoy this time that we're going to share here together. It's going to be very powerful. So yes, welcome everybody, and welcome to those who are joining on YouTube as well. So exciting. And so let me begin by saying that I have big news for everyone here today. And I think you already know this news, but the news is that 2020 is going to bring us some really big changes. And 2020 is going to be the year for spiritual, purpose-driven entrepreneurs to really seize the massive initiation that we're all going through on the planet right now and really step into your power around helping people in the unique and special and possibly far out, very woo-woo, very multidimensional way that you are meant to do, bringing your unique gifts and talents forward at this time. You are so needed. And that's a big part of my message today, is that especially if you have felt like an outsider, if you have felt like the one who's always different, that's because you have unique and different gifts, and the world is really becoming ready for you now. It's becoming ready for what you're offering. People are doing their shadow work, they're doing their shamanic work, they're doing their multidimensional, multi-layered excavating work, because we're all in these very, very intense times right now. And it's like, we don't have a choice, right? We've got to go in and do the deep work. So people are getting very accustomed to that. And people are really opening up to the fact that there's so much more available than what we can see or what we can logically perceive and calculate with science and math, right? So those of you who have these healing gifts and these teaching and coaching gifts, I want you to really, really feel empowered right now, because you're living at this time for a very specific reason. You're meant to bring something very special out to the world. And so really settle into that as you listen to my presentation today, because I think you're going to have a lot of new ideas coming through about how you can start really sharing in a much bigger way. So this is the year for us to move forward with our mission, with our purpose. And like I was saying, not by following the rules and doing what everybody else is doing, but instead by creating a whole new way of doing business that's really in alignment with your unique and crazy and woo-woo and far out, cosmically aligned healing and teaching and multidimensional gifts and talents. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am for anybody who's listening who may not know. My name is Jocelyn Mercado. I am the founder of Sacred Planet, and I have been on quite a journey for the last 15 years or so. I was before that in a 15-year career in finance and corporate and, doing all the things that we're supposed to do, right? I got my MBA and I got jobs with different multinational companies, and I was moving up in the corporate world. And when my older daughter was born, I just suddenly realized that this was not the path I was meant to be on, right? And I started really thinking about, oh my goodness, what kind of a world am I creating for myself? What am I creating for her? What am I modeling? And what do I actually really want to be doing during my time here? And so all the walls came crumbling down with that old world, which was not the real me. You know, it was me trying to be who everyone else wanted me to be. And a lot of incredible new inspiration, information, ideas, synchronicities, connections began to come through. And so over the years since that happened, I have created Sacred Planet. I quit my corporate job, and I have built this business up to be very successful, and communicating with all of you, this amazing global audience that comes together around Sacred Planet. And I am just so honored and feel so blessed to be doing this work. And so today I want to share with you about some opportunities for you who are either on the entrepreneurial path or thinking about venturing out on an entrepreneurial adventure. This is the time. This is the time to start, or to really launch into a whole new level of what you're bringing to the world. So I just can't wait to share all of this with you today. So what I'm going to share with you today is, first of all, we're going to look at what's happening astrologically and energetically right now that's going to help us in 2020 and beyond to really break down all of the old ways of doing things that are no longer working. And to really, we're going to be gaining increased ability to rapidly evolve, to rapidly open up our intuition, so that we will know how to build a new structure for the world that we want to be living in, for the world that will be sustainable and that will have a political structure that really works and an economic structure that really works. Those of us who are living right now, we get to build the beginning foundation of that. So this is an absolutely critical time. And all of you listening are meant to be a part of this, right? So we're going to look at the astrological and energetic components, the new energy that is coming in right now, and why this is so important for us about what we're going to be able to do in the coming years. We're also going to look at how spiritual and purpose-driven entrepreneurs are already creating a massive revolution, and how you are meant to be a part of this. It is still in the very beginning stages. It is by no means too late to get into this. So if you're feeling that call, really listen in. There's just so much opportunity here. And I want to talk about how just by doing the work that we each are passionately called to, the work that we love, we have the ability to shift these political and economic structures, right? So I'm going to tell you a little more about that. And I'm also going to explain more about why the world is ready right now for crazy and far out and multidimensional ideas. So let's begin, and let me just start sharing with you what is happening astrologically right now. Let me make sure I'm recording and live on YouTube. Okay, great. Everything's working, it looks like. Okay, so astrologically, so for one thing, we're going to have 6 eclipses in 2020. Now, usually most years there are only 4 eclipses, and then sometimes, occasionally, there are years with 5 eclipses, which is what we had in 2019. We still have one more eclipse that's coming this year. But for 2020 to be a year with 6 eclipses, I'm sure most of you are probably pretty tuned into this. Whenever an eclipse happens, and they happen in pairs, right? Whenever these eclipses happen, it means that big shifts and changes and restructuring are occurring. So for 1 year to contain 6 eclipses, that's a lot of change. That's a lot of restructuring. Now, where the planets are during this upcoming year is going to tell us a lot about what is that restructuring all about. So the planets that will be moving, where the planets will be moving through during the next 2 to 3 years, and especially the big planets with Saturn and Pluto going conjunct in Capricorn very early in 2020, actually in January, with Uranus in Taurus, with Jupiter moving into Capricorn, which it's going to do now at the very end of 2019, and it's going to be there for most of 2020. all this Capricorn energy is about a couple of things. One, Capricorn is about structure. Okay, and so all of these big planets and the really powerful, heavy-hitting planets that are further out in the solar system, and especially with Pluto being in there, this is about revolution. Okay, this is about revolution of the structure of our world. And we're also looking at Capricorn as far as Capricorn rules our fate and our destiny. And there's so much happening with planets moving through Capricorn in late 2019 and all the way through 2020, especially in early 2020. There's a lot that's up right now for us about our fate and about our destiny. And this is not to say that you are locked into a certain fate, okay, but this is calling into action all that we are meant to do while we're here in this lifetime, right? And how can you maximize that? And how can you move into where your highest self is meant to be in alignment with that destiny? All of this is going to be really, really up for us. It's up for us now, but that's going to even intensify more as we get into 2020. So this is really a time that we are at a crossroads, okay? And if you think about it, there are certain moments in our reality where something that happens sets the course for the future, right? Shifts the course and changes the course of events, right? Really, really shifts our trajectory. And we can see this if we look back at certain historical events that have changed the trajectory of everything. This is the kind of time that we're in right now. Destiny is up. There's going to be a revolution of the structures within which we are living. And so we are on the forefront. We are on the front lines of being able to choose what is going to be created going forward from this pivotal moment that we're at right now and into the early part of 2020. So this is really big. That's the kind of time that we're in right now, okay? So we want to be aware of this. We want to be very, very conscious about this so that we can put our ducks in a row, right? Like individually, personally, we want to put our ducks in a row for how each of us wants to be living and operating. How do I want to be living my life as we are moving into this very catalyzing time, right? This pivotal time. And also, we want to be really conscious about what we're creating in our world. You know, what leaders are we supporting and bringing into, to make decisions on the global stage. And there's going to be a lot up as well about who can we really trust, because this is already happening and it's going to intensify even more. But there are going to be leaders who are using fear to try to get their way and to try to influence large groups of people. So we want to really shift into finding truth, not out there in the media or not in what certain leaders are telling us. We've got to find our truth in here now, okay? Because it's very hard to tell what is correct, what is not correct. And as I mentioned, we're all gaining this heightened intuitive ability right now to really sense into what is true, what has value, what is aligned with our highest self. And the only place to find those really, really true answers are in here, in our heart, right? And in our soul. So we've got to go within and find the answers and be very, very conscious about what we're creating at every moment right now. So that may seem like a lot of pressure, right? And it is kind of serious. Like Capricorn energy is very, very serious. But there's also a lot of magic that is possible from this. There's a lot of magic with Uranus being in Taurus, right? To really create a new reality that is inspiring and different and revolutionary. And so that's what we're here to do. And if you have been working really, really, really hard over the past few years, which I know is the case for a lot of people listening, with all of these big planets moving through Capricorn, this is going to be a time when your hard work is finally going to pay off. Okay. So if that's been you, if you've been working really, really hard and you haven't really seen the outcomes yet, hang in there. Don't give up. Keep doing the good work, because it's going to flow more. Okay, we're coming into our destiny. We're coming into this place of very rapid evolution. So the flow is going to increase. We're going to be able to move more quickly, move more fluidly toward the life that we want. And that hard work is going to pay off. Okay. So that's a picture of a very top level view of the astrological energies right now. But I also want to tell you about the energetic influences themselves. Now, there's so much moving through energetically. And of course, we've all been feeling like it is extremely intense. And there's just like no break now from the intensity. Like it was like before in 2016 and 2017, it felt like it was intense, but it would be intense for a little while and then it would back off and then it would be intense again and then lighten up a little. Now, especially in 2019, it's just like all intense all the time. And so we're wondering, what is that about? Well, here's something we need to know. 2012, and you know, we all know about the date, like 12-12-12. That was a major shifting point that we were all aware was coming. And then people were saying that would be the end of the world and all that. And of course it wasn't the end of the world, but this was a date that was recognized and predicted in many, many different indigenous ancient cultures, okay, including on the Mayan calendar, for example. And so many, many cultures recognize this date, 12-12-12, and especially the year 2012, as a time when we were moving into the end of one 26,000 year cycle and into the beginning of a new 26,000 year cycle. Now think about that, 26,000 years, that is a massive amount of time. So 2012 was the ending of one of those and the beginning of a new one. So something that big, it takes a little bit of time to really kick into action, right? So we made that shift in 2012. It's agreed upon by so many different ancient cultures that was a critical date. But the effects of it are finally starting to settle into our lives and into our physical bodies and into our energetic perception. So that's what we're feeling right now. And so we've shifted from one era, very large, massive era of time, into another. Okay. And now finally in 2019, it's really settling in. We are really living it. It is settling into our bodies, our energetic field, and our world. And so we've got to really recognize that we are entering into this completely new era. We've now traversed the first 7 years of a 26,000 year cycle. Okay. So this is really big. This is affecting our space-time continuum. This is affecting our emotions. It's affecting our physical bodies. It is also affecting our intuitive and our psychic abilities and ramping up our intuitive and psychic abilities to connect into the imaginal realms and the higher intelligence of the universe. So this is us expanding into a whole new world. So before 2012, that was a completely different cycle of life than what we're in right now. And so it's a huge adjustment for us on all levels, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, to be moving into the beginning of this new 26,000 year cycle. And we want to really recognize that and honor that and cut ourselves a little slack for being a bit overwhelmed and feeling like sometimes the intensity is too much, because it is, right? It's just such a big change for us. But we're going to get used to this new way. So there's a lot, questions going around saying like, is the intensity ever going to let up? Well, maybe not. Maybe this is the new way, but we can adjust to it, okay? And we can get used to it and we can accept it. And so I heard a speaker say recently that, those of us who are living right now, it's like we're in the front seats, the front row of the movie theater. We're the first ones going into this completely new era. And so we can cultivate resilience and we can cultivate trust in the bigger picture of what's happening. And when we're able to do that, that's how we're going to thrive in this intensity of this new era. So we kind of sometimes might have a longing to go back to the way that it used to be, right? But the future is forward. And we really want to welcome that. And we want to be flexible with that. The more that we can be flexible and resilient as I said, then the more we can thrive and accept that there are going to be big changes. But when we can surrender to those changes and flow with them and welcome them and know that this is the universe trying to bring us something new and good, then we can relax into it a little more and not be pushing against it, not be fighting it, not be thinking, oh, I want to go back all the time. We can instead then willingly and joyfully go forward into it. And so that's a big piece that I'm really encouraging all of you to step into here. Do you want to live in a way that's about like trying to control things and force them back into some prior version? Or do you want to really surrender into what wants to be birthed through us right now? Surrender into what wants to come through you right now and what you're meant to bring into the world, right? If we can surrender and flow with these changes, we are going to be very readily able to move toward our highest destiny. So that brings me to, what is our role as conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs? Now, I'm addressing this next part, not just to those of you who are already running a business, right? This is to anyone who's listening who feels the call to create something new in the world. So that's the entrepreneurial spirit, right? To look at what's going on and know that you have a gift to bring that is new and unique and different than what anybody else is doing out there. And maybe you're not even completely clear exactly what that is yet. That's okay. As long as you have the knowing, you have the calling, you have the longing to bring something into the world, that is the entrepreneurial spirit. So I'm speaking to anybody who identifies with that right now. So there are big things happening in our world. There are big places where the world is going in a pretty negative direction, right? Politically, economically, a lot of our educational system is really, really struggling right now. Socially, there are so many people who are suffering right now for many, many, many different reasons. And so, and I have chills as I say this, because it's so pervasive right now. When there are so many impossible seeming situations going on, this is the universe. This is the higher intelligence of the earth and cosmos trying to force us out of an old situation and help us to get into something new. So I invite you all to take heart, around the fact that things feel very impossible right now in a lot of ways, especially when we look at what's happening on a global scale. And in many of our lives right now, I know, sure, many of you are experiencing kind of impossible situations in your lives that you don't know how to get out of or how to move into the next phase. I invite you to trust that the universe is helping us, even when it may not seem that way. Okay, sometimes we're given impossible, unbearable situations in order to force us into a new way, in order to make it so that it's like we don't have any choice. Even if it's scary, even if it's difficult, we've got to find and powerfully choose a new and different way of doing things. So that's what's happening in our world on a very, very large scale right now. And those of you who are called to speak up about this, or to be or to be an activist, or to start a business and share your unique message that will inspire people, or those of you who are called to be healers, or those of you who are called to work with Mother Earth, or work with the animals, or the plants, or the stars. There are so many different ways we're being called right now. And I want you to know that it is so important for you to answer that call. Many of you already are, and many of you are about to jump in. So I really want to tell you at this time, the end of 2019, as we are going into 2020, this is not a time to hesitate anymore. This is a time to take action, because all of your callings that you're receiving are to help the earth, and they are to help our global collective of life, not just humans, but all plants and animals on the earth. Your calling is meant to help with this global situation that we have in some key and critical way that only you can bring. in the exact way that you're here to do. So it is time to answer that call now. And it's going to take a lot of nerve and a lot of confidence for us to stand up for what we believe during this time. We're going to be confronted by those who don't agree with us. But this is the time when we must not waver. And we've got to really trust that when we do that, when we step out with our unique and important message, those who do agree are going to be inspired and galvanized to also stand up. And then it creates a beautiful ripple effect out into the world that started with you, okay, in inspiring others and helping others to take action. And it goes on down the line, and they inspire more people, and they inspire more, and so on. This is how a revolution is created. And it's already, this revolution is already happening, but we need to amplify it. And that can happen from each of you who are listening to this to take action, okay? The only way for the new world to come forward is for those who are empowered and ready to come together and throw away the illusions, let go of perceptions of how things could be or should be or ought to be, and move into what are we creating now? Really and truly taking action. So it's not a time to hesitate. It's not a time to take a break right now. This is a time of dismantling the old and building the new. And it's a time of rebelling against all that's in place and is not working, right? It is a time for revolution, for certain. And I think we're all feeling this in a very visceral, a very real way. And I think we can all pretty clearly see how this is already playing out in our lives. And this is going to continue very strongly and even intensify and amplify as we get into 2020. And we're going to be increasingly called to take action to make these changes. Now, again, this may seem very serious. It is very intense. It really is. But at the same time as all of this serious stuff is happening, we get to experience magic and synchronicity and new opportunities and new connections and new relationships coming in a way that is completely unprecedented, like none of us have ever experienced before in our lives. And I think a lot of you are experiencing this already too. So it's like at the same time as we have this serious Saturn, Capricorn, like we've got to break down the structures and build the new, there's this pervasive magic and ease and flow and a whole new perspective, a whole new level of synchronicity and intuition coming in to help us with that. Okay. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling this like paradox, right? I would love to hear it in the comments. If you could just type yes in the comments, if you're feeling that paradox of like, it's like the highest highs and the lowest lows, right? And it's like amazing new relationships and synchronicities at the same time as like the darkest shadows and problems, right? Okay. Yeah. Getting a lot of yeses. I'm feeling this so strongly. It's crazy. It's crazy right now, right? So yeah, good. I'm glad you're all agreeing. Yes, yes to paradoxes. And so the question to all of us is, as all of this is happening, do you want to be standing in the background and watching and observing, or do you want to be a part of building this whole new world that we really need and long for? And whichever you choose, it's fine. Like plenty of people are going to choose to stand in the background and watch and be shocked and be like, scared and all of that. And on the other hand, many, many, many of us are going to choose to step forward in a whole new way. And we might be scared, but we're still going to step forward, right? That's courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear, sometimes really strongly, but then taking that action anyway, right? And so that's my invitation for you. Now, there's another piece that's really important here to know for those of you who are healers or visionaries or, bringing something forward that is just so strong, coming from you, coming from your heart and soul that you're meant to do. And so there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, as we've talked about. And people are going to need a lot of help with that. Okay, people are going to need a lot of support because, like those of you who are on this call, you've probably been doing your consciousness work for a long time, and you're really like tuned into the energies, and you're ready to get prepared for this, or you're already prepared for this on some levels. But there are a lot of people out there who are not prepared at all, who don't know that this is coming. You know, they haven't been deep into that spiritual work in the same way, or their personal development work. So they don't know. And this is going to be kind of blindsiding and shocking for a lot of people out there as these changes roll through. So people are going to need guides and teachers and healers and visionaries and people with an inspiring message, so to help them make it through the next several years. Especially 2020 through 2023 are going to be just a really big change from what we've been used to in this past decade, right? We're entering into this new decade, which is the beginning of the 26,000 year cycle, and it's like there's just going to be so much change and disruption occurring. And there's going to be magic and healing and transformation. And that's where you come in, right? That's what you can bring. You are going to be very much in demand as long as you have an online platform or a local platform or some way for people to find you, because people are really going to need you and your unique gifts to help them get through these times of big change and big upheaval. So if you have felt isolated, or if you've been, felt like, oh, I'm crazy, I'm so different from everyone else, I'm too far out there, or if you felt isolated in the past because no one really got it, nobody totally gets what you're doing, I have good news for you. People are really opening up to exploring their shadow right now. People are opening up to excavating their past lives and their ancestral woundings, and people are opening up to the importance of the dream time and the imaginal realms. People are opening up to shamanic and earth-based practices. People are opening up to the knowledge and the power of witches and healers and psychics and visionaries. Now, there's a reason why people are opening up to all of this in a whole new way. Part of it, we can explain it partially astrologically because Neptune is in Pisces, and that is the sign of its rulership. And Neptune brings like visionary, healing, transformation, right? All of these things, like into the depths to rise into the light. And so that's the astrological take on it. But if we go back to this idea of the 26,000 year cycles, I want to share with you from the book that you all know I quote from this book all the time because it's so amazing, The Time of the Black Jaguar by Arkan Lashwala. If you have not read this book yet, you must go out and read it right now. But he speaks about the 26,000 year cycles in that book as well. So what Arkan says is that at the beginning of each 26,000 year cycle, we live in a time of magic and intuition where our ability to tap into the imaginal and to tap into the unseen is heightened more than at any other time in the history of humankind, right? And so then during that 26,000 year cycle, we start out in this beautiful magical period. So if you think about 26,000 years ago at the beginning of the last 26,000 year cycle, now we don't have a ton of archaeological evidence from there, right? But we know that people were deeply, deeply connected with nature. We know that people who lived then were living very close to the land and were, deeply, deeply connected with the mythology and with the stories and with the dream time. And so it's very interesting now as we enter into the beginning of this new 26,000 year cycle. It started in 2012. We can feel, like I'm sure most of you on the call have felt this. I have certainly felt this in my life, the increase in our intuitive and psychic abilities over the last 7 years or so, and an increase in our ability to have visions and to go really, really, really deep into a meditative state, right? And to know things, or to have dreams that are showing us what's going to happen in the future. This is happening on a massive, massive level. Way more people are experiencing this than at any time that we can remember. And that's because we are starting this new 26,000 year cycle. So as Arkan says, at the beginning of that cycle, we have access to magic like at no other time. So that's what we're entering into here. So those of you who are bringing the magic, who are bringing the stuff that's, so far, in past decades considered way out there, too multidimensional, right? Too unrealistic. This is your time. This is your time to shine. And it's just starting now. And it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And so, people are opening up to this like never, ever before. And you're going to be very busy helping them to discover all of this. All right. So, and this is also a good thing, like not just for each of you individually, but this is a really good thing for our world, because our world clearly needs a major perspective shift. We need a whole new way of doing things, and we're not going to find it by using science and measuring things and doing what's logical and sensible. That hasn't worked. That's what we've been doing for the last several hundred years, and it's gotten us to where we are today. All right. Now we need the magic. We need the opening up to completely new possibilities that we didn't even know were available to us. And that's what is becoming available to us now at the beginning of this new 26,000 year cycle. So one last thing that I want to mention about the opportunity for you and for all of us is that as heart-based, spiritual, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, we have a tremendous ability to shift the course of events. Now, as entrepreneurs, we have the ability to shift the economic structure, the economic patterns of our world, okay? So as more and more of us step into entrepreneurship, leave our corporate jobs, right? That's my story. And probably many of you leave our corporate jobs or leave the academic world or the medical field, the modern medical profession, or whatever you might be leaving behind as you think about starting your business. We get to redirect the flow of financial resources. Okay. So when you are then doing the work that is aligned with your soul's mission, once you get to a certain level with that, the abundance is going to flow into you, because the universe wants to support you in that and wants you to have the financial resources to make that happen on a bigger and bigger level. And as those financial resources are flowing to you, that means they're not flowing to the oil and gas companies or the government or the big multinational corporations. And as more and more and more of us, hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of us, are starting our small businesses, we are going to increasingly redirect that flow of financial resources into the hands of small business owners who are highly conscious, who care deeply about the future of our world, who want to create that brighter world for our children and grandchildren and all generations, right? And I have chills as I talk about this, because this is such a big part of what I'm working on in my story, right? And my experience right now. And I know it is for so many of you. We get to choose then. We get to use that money to create healing. We get to use that money to share out into the world and donate and contribute into the world for causes that are doing amazing things, like Tree Sisters or the Pachamama Alliance or so many others out there, right? We get to redirect that economic flow. And this is going to be happening on a more and more and more massive level in our world. Okay, so we get to assist in the shifting of the entire economic structure. We also get to share information that was not available before, right? Like if we create an online summit or a conference, or if we create a podcast, we're sharing information in a whole new way. We're allowing the truth to disseminate into the world in a way that is not dependent on the main media sources. It is not dependent on the government, right? All those agencies that want to control things. We can share the truth in a whole new way, and we can catalyze this global awakening of consciousness in the world. And that is going to shift everything. I mean, that is already shifting political structures, economic structures, educational structures, social structures. So as entrepreneurs, I want you to really honor and acknowledge the power that you have to help with this tremendous global shift that we're going through right now. And the importance for you to step up into your power, speak your message, create these forums, create these communities where the truth and the light and love and compassion can come into our world and be shared and rippled out in a whole entirely new way. That is what we are here for. That is what we are doing. And I invite you to really step into that at a higher and higher level. Like, keep doing what you're afraid of, right? Keep being more and more visible, even if it's scary for you. Keep on speaking your message. Keep on doing your healing work, even if it feels like it's really woo-woo or out there, or your family and friends don't understand. Keep doing that work. This is what the world needs. This is what the earth is calling for right now. So, yeah, so important for us to be taking action at this time. So, I want to share with you now one more part, which is why I believe that you, those of you who are listening, are qualified. And I've already given you a lot of reasons why I think you're qualified, right? But here's some more. So I just want to share with you some of your amazingness, okay? So for those of you listening, I know that you have been doing a lot of healing work. If you're on this call, if you're in the Sacred Planet community or observing the Sacred Planet community, I know you've been doing your healing work, okay? And Goddess knows we're never done with that healing work, but you have all been doing a lot, okay? And that is, for one thing, it's raising your vibration. It's raising our global collective vibration, that we're becoming more and more healed and more aligned with the truth of our highest self. But also, once you've done that healing work, you have information and experience and lived, embodied, felt sense of how to share that with others, okay? So that's one level where I invite you to really step in. Like, how are you meant to help others to heal because of what you have healed in yourself? Another reason that you're qualified for this is that I know that you have breakthrough ideas or systems or methods or practices that your heart and soul are just bursting to share, right? About how people can heal, or how people can shift their perspective, or how people can change their lives to create a brighter future for themselves. I know you have that within you. I know you want to share it in a bigger way. Another piece here is that I know your guides have been telling you to step out into the world, to be more visible, to bring this work out in a whole new way, right? I know that in your spiritual practices, you're probably getting increased, what shall we say, prodding or goading to do it, to get out there and do it, right? Because this is the call. This is the call from the earth. This is the call from the cosmos for us to move out and mobilize and make things happen right now. So I know all of you are hearing that, right? And maybe you've been waiting for a clearer sign, or the perfect time, or the ideal opportunity. And I'm here to tell you that ideal opportunity is now, okay? The perfect time is now, at the end of 2019, so that we can be ready for 2020. And so that we can be already creating the new world as we enter into 2020, okay? And I really welcome you to not wait another moment, because the world is changing very quickly. And we are all being called to evolve rapidly, so we can be prepared, so we can step out and do our big work as these big changes are coming. You know, this is the revolution that we've been waiting for. It's happening right now. And it's going to be continuing. And this is the revolution not only that we've been waiting for, but this is the revolution that our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers and our great-great-great-great-grandmothers have been waiting for. And we have the honor to be living at this amazing time when all of this is getting set into motion in a really big way, right? And 2020 is like the massive kickoff year for all of it. So my question to you, and please answer in the chat, is, do you accept this mission? Do you accept this mission to take action in a whole new way, starting right now, and especially as we move into 2020? So please put yes in the chat if you're feeling that. Yay. Okay. This is so amazing. I love it. Wow. Sophie says, my guides have been teaching me about 2020 since I was 5. That is, oh, so you have so much to share, Sophia. You have so much to share. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love this. Look at all the yeses. Yay. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So I want to share with you now, I'm going to share with you a program that I'm offering over the next 5.5 months. And I want to tell you that all these yeses, right? Whether you do my program or another program, or you just follow your guides and your heart and soul, however you choose to do that is completely fine, right? I'm not trying to pressure you into my particular program, but I want you to know that it's available, okay? I want you to know that it's available. And yes, Colleen, this a replay will be sent out. So if you all who are listening now missed any part of this, as long as you're on the Sacred Planet mailing list, then you will get a copy, you will get a replay. So let me share with you about a program that I have that's going to be starting on November 7th that is called The Magic of You. Okay, and I'm going to share with you some slides so you can visualize all of this even more easily. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So in The Magic of You, this is a 22-week course, so it's about 5.5 months. And this is designed to help you transform your visionary idea into a profitable business. So we are going to be together, and we're going to be live twice a month with live customized business coaching that I'm going to offer to you during every live call from November 7th to April 9th, or it's to April 19th. Okay. And so in this program, you're going to learn how to discern what's most important and catalyzing about your unique purpose and the genius that you have come here to share in this lifetime. You're going to learn compelling ways to build trust and relationship with your tribe so that they will view you as a thought leader and an expert in your field. And this is something that's so important because much of the time as we step into our purpose and start speaking out more loudly with our message, it's a little scary because some people around us don't get it and don't understand and don't appreciate it. But what's actually happening there is that it's like the old tribe and your relationships that you have right now are going to shift and change, and some people may fall away. But that is okay because your new tribe of people who is more aligned with your soul, okay, where their soul purpose is aligned with your soul purpose, those people are going to be coming in. And so building that network, building that community and that tribe, that is a big part of what we'll be working on in The Magic of You. We're also going to look at how to create a website that will magnetize your ideal clients and allow you to scale your business to the next level of success. We'll also learn optimal ways to grow your email list and fill it with the perfect, ideal people who have been waiting for you. You know, if you're getting the call that you need to step up and share your message and share your healing or your coaching or your teaching, what that means is that there are people out there in the world that are just waiting for you to step forward. Okay, they need you. So it's just a matter of you giving them a way to find you. Okay, so we're going to work on how to do that. We're also going to talk about some very extremely practical pieces like how to get off the hamster wheel of pay by the hour and pay by the session work and really move into a business model and program offerings that truly value your time and your life force energy. And you're going to learn my proven action plan for making your income both higher and consistently higher throughout the year. You're going to learn a ton of technology tips and secrets using really user-friendly and budget-friendly technology options to help your business run more efficiently and easily, especially as it grows. Okay, and then there's going to be so much more. So let me share a little more about this. Now, there are 4 guiding principles that all of my one-on-one entrepreneurial business coaching programs within Sacred Planet are built upon. Okay, so first of all, I have an MBA. I have a 15-year experience, or I had 15 years of experience in finance and business and project management. So all of that is coming into this program to benefit you. Okay, so we're going to really create financial and business expertise for you so that you can have a solid and sustainable and consistent income. Another principle 2, is creating highly successful entrepreneurial ventures which are designed to change the world. You are here to change the world, and I want to give you the structure and the platform so that you can welcome in your tribe and really make that happen on a much bigger and global level. And then principle 3 is going to be embracing technology. You know, technology, we see a lot of ways that technology is used not for the good, okay? We want to use it for the good here. Just like when we do webinars like this to share information, this is embracing technology as a tool to share your important message with the world and facilitate the global awakening of consciousness in whatever way you are meant to relate with that. And then principle 4 is accessing the magic and mystery of nature and the cosmos, because it's not just about technical and practical pieces here. Okay, we want to bring in the connection that we have with the imaginal realms and with the higher intelligence of the universe. We want to bring in the calling that you're receiving from the earth and the cosmos, because all of this is here to guide and support us. So the program dates are November 7th to April 9th. The first slide it should have said April 9th instead of the 19th, so sorry about that. We're going to meet 2 times per month for live calls on Thursdays at 2 p.m. New York time. Now, if you can't make it at that time, don't worry. There will be a recording provided after each call, okay, within 24 hours after each call, so that you can get the full teaching and watch all of the Q&A. All of that will be included in the replay. The modules will consist of 60 to 90 minutes of teaching, followed by 30 to 45 minutes of Q&A and live coaching. And each live call includes customized business coaching. So if you're on the live call and you have a question about your specific business scenario, you can raise your hand and I will give you individual coaching within the group session. Now, here are the 11 modules. I'm going to move through these fairly quickly, but I want you to have an idea of what's included in the class. So module 1 is helping you to get clarity and focus on your highest path and really discover your strongest medicine. Module 2 is building your confidence, self-worth, and personal power. Okay, so clearing out your limiting beliefs, redesigning your environment to really support, uplift, and inspire you, because we need to be operating at a very high energetic frequency, and I want to help you really shift into that so you can have the maximum success. And then module 3 is how to create and optimize your website so that you can reach your audience, because you've got to have a platform for people to find you. As I said, there are people out there in the world that are just waiting for you to step onto the stage and be available, but they've got to be able to find you, and your website is the place where that magic happens. Module 4 is technology tools to save you time and money. There are so many technology options out there. I want to help you really sort through the clutter and choose the tools that are budget friendly and user friendly and professional and modern and going to work really, really well to make your business run as efficiently as possible. Module number 5 is marketing and communications, okay? And so this is so important. This is about why selling does not make you money. What we need to do is build true connection, compassion, and trust and generosity, because that's what we're built for as human beings. We're not built to sell. We're built to create connection. So I want to help you build your business around that. And I call this like the sacred feminine way of doing marketing, right? The sacred feminine way of getting your work out into the world is aligned with the feminine principles of compassion and love and generosity. So we want to build your business on that, so it feels really good and so it feels in alignment with your highest values. Then we're going to work on who is your ideal client. This is so important so you can be speaking to the right people and really speaking to their heart and soul to welcome them into your world so they know that you're the right person for them. Module 7 is about list building, okay? And this is critical because in order to have your tribe in order to be able to sell your programs and bring in the income that you really need, you've got to have a list of your ideal clients. Okay, so in the module before this, we just figured out who your ideal clients are. And this module will be about how to find them, bring them to your website, and welcome them into your world. Module 8 is about pricing and packaging. Now, this is some really, very, very practical, but so important information here. So we're going to look at why pay by the hour and pay by the session models are all wrong and will never bring you the income that you deserve. And if you're on that hamster wheel right now, you know what I mean, right? So we want to talk about how to completely redesign your pricing and your packaging so that not only is your valuable time and energy really rewarded and you're receiving what you really need, but also your clients are going to be able to receive a much higher outcome every single time. Okay, so we'll look at how to put all that into alignment. Module 9 is about generating real income. So how to plan your programs and offerings to keep a steady and reliable stream of income coming in throughout the year so you don't have these ups and downs and highs and lows and abundant months versus panicking months, right? We don't want that for you. And your money mindset is critical for that, and your vibration, right? Where is your energetic frequency? All of that is critical. So we're going to talk about all of this. And here's something really important. As spiritual entrepreneurs, so often we say, oh, well, I don't want to be wealthy because I'm spiritual and money's bad. Or, we have this sense that we shouldn't be welcoming in the money, that it's somehow bad. I want you to know that we need to welcome in the money. We need to welcome in the financial abundance so that we can make our highest contribution to the world. Okay, and the universe wants us to have this abundance so we can do our highest level of work and make the highest offering. So we'll talk about all of that in much more detail in the course, but that's really an important keystone here to everything. Module 10 is about building a foundation for success. So how to really set up your business to run the way that you need it to. Do you only want to work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Then set it up that way from the very beginning, or make that shift right now. So we're going to talk about how to do that, how to set boundaries to protect your energy and your health, and lots of different aspects of your business structure to really give you the freedom that you deserve. And the final module is module 11, planning for expansion. So what's next, right? How can you establish yourself as a thought leader on an even bigger level? How can you connect with other leaders and create collaborations and affiliate connections and speak on stages, right? How can you take this all to the very next level? So thinking big here. Now there are some very exciting bonuses that I want to share with you. And in case, let me just go to the chat here. For anyone who wants to check this out in more detail, you can go to this page, jocelynmercado.com/the-magic-of-you hyphenated. That has more information about the course in case you need to go here, because I know we're nearing the hour. So if you do want to go and check out and possibly purchase, you can just go to this link right here. All the information is there. But let me tell you next about the bonuses. So I put that link in the chat in case you're looking for where I put it. So here are the bonuses. So bonus number 1 is the first 3 people to join today, October 22nd, will receive a 60-minute one-on-one life and business coaching session with me. Okay, so you can use this anytime between November 7th and March 30th, wherever you need it most. So if you're working through the magic of you and you have a scenario that comes up with your business or something, maybe it's the pricing, maybe it's the list building, whatever it is that you feel you need the most extra support with, you can use this session for that. We'll dive in really, really deeply to your specific scenario, and I will get you the answers that you need. So that's just for the first 3 people that join today. So go click on that link and join now if you're ready. Bonus number 2, and this is really exciting as well. So the first 3 people to join, again, so the first 3 people will get these first 2 fast action bonuses. You will receive an interview recording session with me. So this is where we will meet, and we'll have like a 45-minute session scheduled so we can talk before and after. But I'm going to coach you on how to record a video interview of yourself, right, where I will be interviewing you. And then you can use this to post on your website, on YouTube, on social media, many other uses. It's a way for people to come in and get a really professional look at what you're all about, what you're offering, why you're inspired and passionate about it. So this is just an amazing way to share your message with the world. And so this is one of those fast action bonuses. This is a $499 value. And we have so much fun with these. And for all participants, you will all receive my 5-week online course, which is called The Space Between Dreaming and Awake. And this is about how to access universal guidance and consciously redesign your life. So this is a really beautiful counterpart to the Magic of You to help you go really deeply into the imaginal realm and connecting with the intelligence of the universe. And we'll do shamanic journeying, different meditative practices, connecting with nature, a lot that can help you really dive in. And at the end of that 5-week course, you will create your action plan for designing your new life. Okay, so this is a beautiful counterpart to the Magic of You, and this is a $329 value. And then finally, everyone who registers for the Magic of You is going to immediately upon signing up receive a quick start bonus module. Okay, and that includes 3 audio lessons so that you can really begin your transformation immediately. So this is about identifying your big why, which will be your driving force to keep you moving forward. We will also dive into who are you becoming? Who do you choose to become through this process? So this is very transformational, this bonus module, and I want you all to have that, and you could start working on it right away as soon as you join until November 7th when we start the course. Now here is the pricing, and this is our early bird pricing, which will be good through 11:59 p.m. New York time on October 30th. So you can either pay in full for $849 up front, or 4 easy payments of $239 if you choose the installment plan. And this is the link to go to. And again, that is in the chat. Let me see if it's still, yeah, you can see this link is in the chat there. And just go to that link and you will see the options to purchase right there. Now, I do have a money back guarantee. So if you purchase now and then you decide the program is not right for you, as long as you let me know no later than November 15th, you can receive a full refund for the program, no questions asked. And of course, you'll be taken out of the course at that point, but that's how the refund policy works. So you have that money back guarantee, so you have a little more time to think about it if you want to purchase right now. So every module of the Magic of You is going to include paradigm shifts to redesign and up-level your perspective and your mindset, especially around money and especially around your confidence and visibility. This is really big. This is the foundation of everything you're going to create. Every module includes action items that you can implement right away. I have this all laid out in a very step-by-step structure so that it won't be overwhelming. You can take these things one step at a time and build your business in amazing ways. Every module includes user-friendly and budget-friendly technology advice, recommendations, and secrets to guide you and help you cut through all that technology clutter that's out there, as well as practical, easy to implement solutions to your biggest stumbling blocks. So I know I've been doing this long enough. I know where people struggle and I know where people get stuck, and we're going to really focus on those areas so you can move through them and avoid the pitfalls and the potholes that many first-time entrepreneurs make. And every module includes practices to align you with the universal flow and ready to receive the highest levels of abundance. Really tapping into the imaginal realm here to bring you amazing levels of confidence and success and abundance. So again, until October 30th, this is the pricing. Pay in full for $849 or 4 payments of $239. And you can see the link here to click on. And there are some testimonials here. So let me turn my video back on. I just want to leave the testimonials up for those of you who would like to take a look at them. And I'm going to check the chat and see if there are any questions so far. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to open it up for Q&A in just a couple minutes here. I wanted to share with you some of these testimonials, and people who have come through this program have had just such beautiful and amazing results, and many of them have gone on to create just really next level businesses and online summits and beautiful, beautiful, amazing programs that are bringing them wonderful income. So it is a very transformational process to go through this, the magic of you. So I'll share these, and here we go. Okay, so that's the end of the slideshow. So let me stop sharing the slideshow here. Okay, good, there we go. So I want to open this up for Q&A, and let me just put the link to join in the chat one more time here. And the link, if you're listening on YouTube, I'll put it in the description once the live is over, but it is jocelynmercado.com/the magic of you, all with hyphens in the magic of you, so between the words, so you can find that. So let me open this up for Q&A. So does anybody have any questions about either, yep, you're right, jocelynmercado.com/the magic, the-magic of you. Thank you, Fabian. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, either about the magic of you or about what I was talking about earlier, how to create a platform that will start a revolution in 2020, go ahead and either raise your hand. You'll see the hand icon there. If you raise your hand, I will bring you over on video or audio to chat with me. And if you don't want to be that visible, I encourage you to be really visible here, right? This is your chance. Come on, be visible in front of our global audience. It's a great first step to creating your platform. But if you don't want to be that visible, it's fine. You can also put a question in the chat. So go ahead and put your questions up there in any way that you prefer. And let me just check on something here real quick. Okay, wonderful. Okay, Pat is saying, can you coordinate money and magic? Just want to hear your thoughts. I'm not sure. I'm trying to intuitively sense into what you mean there, Pat. Can you coordinate money and magic? I mean, there's lots of ways, Pat, that money and magic are the exact same thing. So I'm not sure if that's where you were going with that, but can you correlate money and magic? Okay, well, I'm going to try to answer your question, Pat, because I like your question. I like the energy that I feel behind it. So I think I know where you're going with this. Can you correlate money and magic? So here's the thing. Here's a piece about money that I will share in much more detail in the course, but I think it's important to say here. Money is energy, right? And there's an amazing book that explains this in really beautiful detail by Lynn Twist, and it's called The Soul of Money. So check that book out if you want a whole new perspective on what money is all about. But money is energy, right? Money it's not evil. It's meant to flow through our lives and enable us to do what we need to do. And so money was created by humans, but it also, as with anything that's created by humans, it has its own energy, okay? And money has a very creative energy. It allows us to create things. It allows us to have more freedom to do what we really want to do. And another important piece of this is that money does not make us evil, right? Like if sometimes we think that people who have a lot of money are evil, or they're greedy, or they're bad, or they're using it for the wrong things. But the truth is, if any person gets more money, they're just going to be able to more freely do what they naturally do. Okay, so if a really greedy and evil person gets a lot of money, they're going to be more and more greedy and evil. But if you or I or any highly conscious, generous, compassionate, and loving person gets a lot of money, we're going to just put more and more compassion and love and generosity out into the world. That's what we're naturally going to do. So money is just energy that needs to flow through our lives. And so in that way, money is very much correlated with magic. Magic, the way that I see it, magic to me is like the life force. Okay. Magic is, in every leaf, in every bird, in every cloud, in every mountain. It is the life force that is like bursting forth from the world that we get to witness every day. It is the synchronicities. It is the connections and relationships where people come together in amazing ways. It's it's the dreams. It's the insights that come through a vision, right? All of that is magic. And so that's these two types of energy are very much the same. The creative energy of magic, which if we use it properly, it can enhance our life. It can enhance our life force. It can allow us to have more self-care and more freedom and all the things that we really need. And also it can be used to contribute to good, positive causes that are doing amazing work in the world. So all of that is very creative and is enhancing the inherent life force in all of us, which is where the magic comes from. So that's where I see those coming together, Pat. In a way, they are really one and the same, which might ruffle some feathers for me to say that. But on an energetic level, money and magic, at least in the way that I think of magic, they are energies that are very creative, that are very life force generating. So I hope that clarifies and is helpful. Now let me see who has raised their hand over here. So Leah, you have your hand raised. You've had your hand raised for a long time, so let me bring you over, and hopefully you meant to. I know sometimes we can accidentally click on raising the hand, so let's see. Okay, hi Leah, welcome. I just unmuted you. Can you hear me? Okay, she might not have meant to raise her hand. Okay, Leah, I'm going to move you back to the participants because I think you probably didn't mean to raise your hand. Okay, but yeah, if anybody else wants to ask a question, go right ahead. Kathleen, I'm going to write to you here in the chat, Kathleen. Excuse my typing, everybody. All right, sending a message to Kathleen there. Okay. Christina, I'm going to answer your question in just a minute. Now, one note here for everybody as you're making your comments, make sure that you are, when you make your comment in the chat, make sure that you're changing it to say all panelists and attendees. Because if it's only that little blue circle that's above where you type in, if it's only on all panelists, then I'm the only one who will see your note. So if you intend it for everyone, make sure you're including the attendees. Okay, so here's a question in the Q&A box. How do the installment payments work? So the installment payment, the first one will be taken whenever you go ahead and process it for the first time. So if you make your first payment today, the first payment will be withdrawn from your account, your credit card or debit card or whatever, or your PayPal account today. And then from there, it will be withdrawn every 30 days thereafter. Okay. So October has 31 days. So if you make your first payment on October 22nd, the next one would be on September 21st. I'm sorry, November 21st. After that, it would be on December 21st, etc. for total payments. Okay, good. So here's another question in here. Okay, so this is someone who has an online research and bead, mineral, and jewelry online shop. Your courses sound great, but how are they applicable to my goals? So that depends. So for your business, you would want to set up a website, you would want to establish an email list, you would want to grow that email list so you can send your promotions and your marketing materials out to your audience who is aligned with what you're selling. So all of this is covered in the program, in the Magic of You. You know, there are all of these technical pieces that we will cover. The Magic of You is more geared toward teachers and healers and coaches who are offering more service-oriented programs and products. But there are certainly a lot of pieces that you could use, you know, and you'd be getting like the high consciousness, the high frequency teachings, the mindset teachings, the confidence teachings, which would certainly be applicable to what you're creating there as well. So it's really up to you. I invite you to feel into that intuitively if you have more of a product-based online business. But there's so much here that will be really valuable for you. So for the price that it is, I believe that it's a steal, you know, to get all that's included here. And it would be so much that would be very applicable to your business. But as always, sense into your intuition, see if it's right for you. See if it makes sense for you. Hopefully that was helpful. Somebody had a question here. Christina said, what if I have no idea about the external form? I only know, and you're talking about what you're meant to create here, right? I only know that it's about bringing people together. I keep hearing the world together. How can I find the practical things I can do? Okay, so Christina, you are in a beautiful, beautiful space, which may not feel beautiful because it may feel very confusing and like overwhelming because you don't know which direction you're supposed to go. But you are like in the womb space right now. You are in this gestational space. Sometimes I think about this too, like the plants at the very end of the winter time before the spring, when like the seeds under the ground have started, like the little shoots are starting to come up, but they haven't even broken above the surface of the earth yet, but they're growing, like something big is happening, but we can't even see it yet. Okay, so Christina, that's where you are. You're in this gestational place. It's a place of like pure creation and visioning. And it can also be very nebulous because you don't know what the form is what form it's going to take and how it's going to turn out. So when you're in that space, the best thing that you can do is try to get yourself as much meditative time as you can, as much time, if you can go out and sit on the earth, that's extremely powerful at that time because the earth is such a creative force and like rises up into us and inspires us. Right now you are seeking your vision and you're seeking a clearer vision so you can know how to move forward. So really make space, like solitude if you can, meditative time in nature, and just really be open at all times to all the signs and synchronicities and information that want to come through. Because the earth and the cosmos are conspiring to send you information right now, but it's about you really opening up and like opening up the channels to be able to fully receive that. And also sometimes it can just be that the time is not right quite yet for you to get the whole message. Like maybe you're supposed to get it 6 months from now because at that time the right people will come in and the right opportunities and it will all fall into place. So a lot of this where you are right now is about trusting. It's about making space for the vision to come through if it's ready, the fuller vision. And it's about just really knowing that you are in such a beautiful place. It's all going to happen in divine timing and to trust in that. But you're probably too early in the game to like take the magic of you. You probably would want to know a little bit more before you jump into the course. So hopefully that's helpful to you, Christina, and blessings on your continued unfolding of what your mission is and what you're meant to do. Okay, so let's see. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Deborah has some beautiful, kind words in here about my courses. She says, Jocelyn and her courses are truly transformational in all ways. You'll never regret joining and participating and growing. Thank you, Deborah. I think she had to leave to go be with her granddaughter. Okay, so Leah, what I just shared with Christina is probably true for you as well. So Leah is saying, what if you're not yet clear of your service or focus yet, that you're just beginning to explore? So yeah, everything I just said to Christina applies to you. It's probably a little too early for you to join the Magic of You, because this is more about building, and you need to have a somewhat of an idea. You know, I do help you get clearer on your idea at the beginning of the Magic of You, but most of it's about building. So you need to have a fairly good idea before you jump in. So I would wait, but you, as I said, you want to be in, try to be in solitude, be in meditative space as much as you can to allow that vision to come through, and also trust in the timing of it. It might not be ready yet, but really trust in the timing of when it's meant to come through. Okay, yes, wonderful, Lati. See you on the 7th. Okay, beautiful. Sophia is saying, this is personal, but perhaps resonates with others as well. I am so stuck in financial problems that I can't make the shift to happen, although I feel the call and I'm crystal clear about that this is the next step. Yes, Sophia, so this is really hard, but we've got to trust in whatever our experience is right now. There is some medicine. There is something that you're meant to receive or experience from being in the stuck place with the financial issues right now, that is going to contribute to what you're ultimately going to bring out into the world. And again, I know this is really hard, to not be able to take action in the way that you really want to right now. But trust that there's a reason for this. There's a much higher reason for this. There's a bigger picture plan for you than what you can see. And it feels frustrating to you on a human, physical level, but there's actually something really beautiful happening here. So trust in that. Hopefully that is helpful. Okay, yes, Kathleen, don't worry. I will do that in just a minute. Let's see. Sophia says, I think it's a bigger issue about money. I refuse it and wish to transform money as completely away from our space. Yeah. Well, this is something really important to look at, because we have this desire to shift away from the money economy and away from capitalism, right? And not be dependent on money, which is good on some levels. And we need to create a world where that is true. But yet, right now, in 2019, in 2020, we are still very dependent on money. So we need to be able to welcome that in. Like, we need to have this expansive enough frequency to welcome in the money, to use it in the best ways that we possibly can, and to send it out in beautiful ripples of generosity and sharing with the world, right? But to be able to welcome it in right now and know that it is going to contribute to us making our highest offering to the world. So that may be where you want to start, Sophia, is with the money mindset, really accepting the abundance, because all of us have abundance that wants to come to us. But our mindset or our perspective, our experiences with money in the past can really get in the way of that. Okay, so we need to set our intentions, and this may be like your big transformation in 2020 is about money and being able to accept the abundance and welcome it into your life so that you can step into a place of expansiveness and freedom and being able to do the programs you want to do and all of these things. So I hope maybe that might be helpful to you, Sophia. It's really big. The whole thing with money, like wanting to be spiritual and knowing that we need money, it's such a big thing. It's a really big shift to make, and it has a lot to do with where we're coming from energetically. So yeah, really important work to be done there for sure. Now, Kathleen, let me send you this link right now. There we are. I'll get that right over to you, Kathleen. And so I don't think we have any more questions coming in now. I'm going to close the call. And Kathleen, I'll send that to you as soon as we close. So if you would like to join please do come on over to the Magic of You page, which I'll put in the chat here one more time. And you'll see the buttons to purchase here. On this page, you can decide between the installment plan or the full payment plan. And we will be starting on November 7th with our first live call. I can't wait to see all of you there. I've created this program and I've run this program for several years now, getting amazing results for the people who come through it. And I just can't wait to share all of this paradigm shifting information with you to help you create a revolution starting in 2020 and really create your platform so that people can find you, so that those people out there who are waiting for you, your tribe, they can come in and find you, and you can do the amazing work that you're meant to do and bring in abundant income and offer your highest contribution to the world. So I can't wait to see you all there. And lots and lots of love to all of you. Hope you all have a beautiful day. And as I said earlier, whether you join the Magic Review or not, I encourage you to go out and start that revolution. Start taking action toward what you're most afraid of, right? Start taking action toward the passions and longings that are calling out to you. Start taking action in the direction of the golden threads and the synchronicities that are guiding you. And I wish you just many, many, many blessings on all of that work that you're meant to do, and sending all of you lots of love. All right, have a beautiful, beautiful day.